Chicken soup for the cold winter is the time that you get really acquainted with all kinds of chicken soup recipes. It's the season of the flu and the cold, and if there's one thing that you've learned about sending a cold away, it's that chicken soup is the tool for the job. Perhaps it's just the steam from a nice hot bowl of soup that helps. It moistens your nasal passages and clears up congestion. Whatever the scientific position on what chicken soup is to help you, you do know that it doesn't hurt you. And it does end up making you feel pretty good about life. Here are 2 great chicken soup recipes for the next time you come down with the flu. Let's start off with a chunky chicken noodle soup. Go with whole wheat noodles, and not only will you feel well fed in the end, you'll have the benefit of a great deal of nutrition too. Certainly, this recipe does make generous use of salt, but it's still better than what you would have if you got this at a restaurant. But it's a simple enough recipe, and you'd be really missing out on a lot not making this at home. Pick up a nicely skinned and cut broiler fryer. Put it in the pot with 4 cups of water, a teaspoon of poultry seasoning, a few celery tops and a pinch of thyme. Put the pot on a Dutch oven and wait until the water comes to a boil. Turn the heat down until the water simmers quietly, and leave the pot covered on the heat for another 40 minutes. Throw away the celery, drain out the broth, and set the chicken aside. You'll need to wait for the fat in the broth to collect on the top and skim it off. Put in a couple of cups of water more, a couple of ounces of uncooked egg noodles, half a cup of sliced celery, some chopped carrot, green onions, fresh parsley nicely minced up, and chicken bouillon granules. You can also add pepper and a bay leaf for extra flavor. While all of this is boiling for the next 20 minutes, remove the bones of the chicken and chop it up nice and fine. Add it to the broth until it's properly warm, and serve. Our next is a chicken soup to really get you looking forward to a flu. It's a chicken soup made of wild rice. The light cheesy flavor and the whole grain wild rice will get you on the road to recovery quickly with all the vitamins and nutrients it helps you eat up. Start off by cooking the wild rice in the way the instructions on the package ask you to. Be sure to not add any salt or fat. Warm up the large Dutch oven, and put in the coating of cooking spray. Sauté a cup of chopped onion and cup of minced garlic cloves for a couple of minutes. Add in 3 cups of fat-free chicken broth, a cup and half cup of baked potatoes all cubed, and allow to simmer for about 5 minutes while covered. Put in 3 cups of fat-free milk, a quarter cup of all-purpose flour and stir it all well together. It will begin to thicken after a while. All you need to do then is to take it off the heat. Add in 10 ounces of cheap processed cheese, add in the rice, salt, pepper and 2 cups roasted boneless chicken breasts. There is something just very wholesome about chicken soup recipes that come recommended for a cold. They are just so full of. Chicken soup for the cold winter is the time that you get really acquainted with all kinds of chicken soup recipes. It's the season of the flu and the cold, and if there's one thing that you've learned about sending a cold away, it's that chicken soup is the tool for the job. Perhaps it's just the steam from a nice hot